I feel like there needs to be a word to describe a group that isn't totally Nugu, but aren't widely well known either. During the 3rd and 4th gen, I feel like one of the best examples of groups that fit under this term would be WJSN and Billy. Both aren't fully Nugu, but not fully unrecognized, and from my perspective, pretty much almost everyone knows who they are and are a fan of their music. Similar to those two groups, I think rescene also fall under that category, and it's a very interesting middle ground to explore. And in this semi-awkward middle space, I believe rescene are the hot rising stars on the scene that people are paying more and more attention to. But who are rescene? Rescene are a 5-member girl group who debuted under Muze Entertainment. Muze Entertainment, formerly known as the Muze Production, was formed in 2020 by CEO Josh Lee. This company only has 2 artists in total. They used to have a soloist under their label called Cherry B, who moved to the company in 2021, but initially debuted 4 years earlier under a different company. However, 2 years later, she left. She hasn't released any music since 2022, but the most recent update I've seen from her is her appearance in IU's Shush music video released this year. 1 year after Cherry B left Muze, they created rescene, their first ever group. Speaking of which, let's talk a little bit more about the members before moving on to their music. The members of rescene consist of Wani the leader, Liv, Minami, Mei, and Zena. I am very familiar with Minami as someone who watched the survival show My Teenage Girl, which created the most severely mistreated and underpromoted survival show group I've ever seen, Classy. People seemed to really like her, to the point where she ranked 13th in the finale, 6 spots short of making the final group, and the only foreign contestant who made it to the finale. She did have some talents that shined here and there, but I was definitely not expecting her to blossom into the amazing artist she is today. Her fellow bandmate and group maknae Zena was also on a survival show called Star Awakening. The show produced the boy group Ensign, and Zena ranked 18th. Overall, and especially from watching their documentary, they make such a great team. Wani seems like a really headstrong leader who wants to do her best to lead the team. Zena does not feel like a typical maknae on stage, which is a compliment since she has one of the best stage presences and idol presences in the group. Minami is Minami, she's amazing, especially in the vocal department. Liz seems very articulate and passionate about music and the vocals of not just herself, but her team, helping them with it whenever she can. And Mei seems very undershadowed for some reason. She's very talented, but doesn't get to shine in her vocals as much in their titles compared to their B-sides, which isn't a bad thing, just something that I noticed. Anyways, now that we know the group a little bit more now, let's dive into their pre-debut single, YoYo, which they released on Leap Day 2024. For some background, the name rescene means recall the scene again with the scent, and according to the sources I found, contains the team ambition to provide a musical scent that will remain in the public's hearts for a long time. With their first released single, that description of their name meaning perfectly encapsulates the atmosphere of YoYo, flowery perfume in music form. With some future retrospective, them releasing YoYo as their first ever song, only to release tracks better than the last, is my definitive proof that they are the true Nugu roadies of 2024. Not a lot of groups can do that, and their 4-combo streak is still going strong, and I bet in 2025 it'll go even stronger. Anyways, let me not get too ahead of myself just yet. With the context of knowing Minami and the project she came from, I was completely blown away by how incredible her vocals sounded when I first heard the song. I don't remember her ever singing on My Teenage Girl, so this was a major surprise. Her vocals and aptly placed second verse rap solidified my liking for this song, and I give her 10s across the board just for that alone. Plus the other members' voices sounded great. I would give YoYo an 8.7 out of 10 or a 4.5 star rating. This pre-debut release would be a full-on knockout comeback if the official music video wasn't just half the song, which was kinda strange to see, but I guess the performance videos make up for it. YoYo will definitely stand the test of time, and I don't see this song aging for a long while. After Leap Day, they then made their official debut on the 26th of March with their single album Rescene, housing the title track UhUh. I am obsessed as to how the bass line of this song, this part, buzzes through my ears and hits the core part of my brain. It's intensely infectious and one of the big reasons why I'm so hooked onto this song. Excuse my intense bias showing, but Minami smashed it in the vocal department. Her vocal tone was 100% made for Rescene's sound. And just like last time, the other members killed it too, and some examples of that are the repetitive hook works incredibly well for a song like this, and the chill chorus leading up to the bonanza-like post-chorus is the shining centerpiece of this song, which feels kind of like a lost art because quite a few songs these days don't have a smash chorus or a tightly executed chorus to post-chorus lead-up. So I'm really happy to see that Rescene is still keeping that craft alive. On August 16th, the Japanese version of YoYo was released, which is really quick because I feel like in the 5th gen, Japanese releases and Japanese versions of songs and even Japanese debuts get quicker and quicker. And 9 days later, they made their very first comeback with their EP Syndrome, which has the double titles Love Attack and Pinball. Love Attack. Goodness, where do I even begin? Love Attack is just too good of a title track, and is my #1 favorite song of theirs. There are many examples of first comeback songs that completely blow their debut counterpart out of the water, and Love Attack is a major prime example of that. Its chorus perfectly marinates all the layered vocals together and slowly ascends like a feather floating in the breeze. And no, this time Minami wasn't my standout, even though she was a close runner-up in the vocal performance department. It was actually Xana, Wani, and Liz who heavily caught my eyes and ears. Xana and Wani not only annihilated the chorus, but provided their best raps up to date. Liz tore up the post-chorus and second half of the second verse as well, but these comparisons between them are marginally small. Everyone ate up this track. So much so that I could not see anyone else who would make Love Attack sound and feel as ethereally unreal as it is. This track is truly all I need, and I have been vehemently love attacked. I think this is the first time we take a peek into Rescene turning to the darker side of their flowery perfume concept. Lucky You is brash and rugged in its instrumental, post-apocalyptic in its vibe, and feels very billy-coded, at least to me. This works spectacularly as an intro song, and although it would fit more nicely into a longer album than a short EP, it truly executes its job really well. New World is a typical K-pop R&B B-side that gives off third-gen B-side vibes. New World is cute, but nothing that I have much to comment about. However, the music video of them traveling around LA is very adorable though. Pinball is giving 2015 to 2019 Red Velvet B-side greatness, and if you know, you know. And from that recall alone, this is a straight 5 stars from me, aka an 8.85 out of 10. I am beyond happy and relieved that this doesn't feel like a cheap knockoff or ripoff of that particular sound. Pinball is so good that it essentially feels like a love letter or commemorative throwback to that type of sound, which I'll probably never get tired of eating up because it's just that addictive. Rescene are truly an amazing group with a breathtaking discography, and I hope their staff and Muze Entertainment continue to treat these girls properly and promote them frequently, as sometimes Nugu groups can fall off after an active debut year, and I would absolutely hate to see that happen to such a talented rookie group that is now in my top 5 for 5th gen groups. For this upcoming year of 2025, I hope these girls will continue to be the strong and skill-stacked group they have shown themselves to be, serving banger after banger and leaving their scents to linger in our minds and hearts.